Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to all our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to say thank you to members of Style Icon Prestige for being here, and not forgetting my regular client for taking time off your busy afternoon to listen to my talk today titled World Economy and Bullion Outlook. So I'm going to do a fourth quarter update of this year and beyond. Okay. The talk today is brought to you by my company, MybullionTrade, and MybullionTrade now has got a sister company called Amami Jewels. Right? Hang on, I forgot to turn this on. Alright. Okay. Before I dive into the subject matter, allow me to introduce myself because some of you have only met me today. Right? So, my name is Dean Arif. I'm a founder and owner of MybullionTrade. MybullionTrade is a leading personalized service of physical gold and silver trade in Malaysia. What it means by personalized service, we don't get our client to come to our office. We go and serve the client. We go out and serve the client. Right. I've been a speaker for precious metals for close to 10 years. I've been making regular... Hi. Thank you. I've been making regular appearance on Business Radio and BFM, Inspire FM, private investment talks, and I've been a speaker for Tomei Gold and Jewelry for more than 3 years. A little bit about my company, MybullionTrade. We've been in business for 7 years. Next year in January, we're going to celebrate our 8th year in business. So thank you very much for all your support that can allow me to stay this long for 8 years. Okay. We are an authorized distributor for all the products that we carry, all the PAMs, the Canadian Maple Leaf, the American Eagle. Yeah. We are also a buyer of used gold and silver. We are well known in the market for buying scrap gold, used jewelry, unused jewelry, jewelry that your mother-in-law give that you don't like, very color design. Then you come and look for me. I'll buy. And if you Google us, we come up at the top because we have a lot of satisfied customer who link to our website. They give very good positive review, mainly because we give one of the best rate in Malaysia. Yeah. This is something new. We now can do custom minting. We can do dinar, dirham, silver and gold. Corporate, we can do it coins or bar as corporate gift. Prizes, employee long service award is something that we can do we can do now. Okay. Here's our sister company, Amami Jewels. Amami Jewel, just like MybullionTrade, we do personalized service. We collaborate with world-renowned diamond and gemstone supplier, and also master craftsmen. They are very, very skillful and good at what they're doing, so that we can give you the jewelry design that you want, or the master craftsman can propose to you a very superb contemporary design. Yeah. Amami Jewels is one of the few company in Malaysia that specializes in colored stone, the pink, the blue, or the yellow diamond, and all our diamonds comes with GIA certification. All right. And do you know that you can leave a legacy for yourself or for your family with diamond jewelry? If you want to find out more about this, talk to my business partner, Adeline Chang, right after the event. Yeah, my business partner and also my wife. Right. Okay, this is the content of my presentation. I'm going to talk about the outlook for the fourth quarter of this year, and some gold and silver important news, and what's ahead in 2018. There's something interesting happening which I want to share with you, which is going to happen next year. Alright, and why you should have some gold and silver in your portfolio. Alright, it may not be suitable for some people, but for some you may need to consider this. Alright, later, around about 4 o'clock, we're going to break for high tea. So food will be served, and we're going to come back. We're going to have a very relaxed Q&A. So while you are having your meal, you can just ask me off the cuff question and answer about gold and silver or about the economy. All right. Little disclaimer. The presentation today is not aimed at forecasting the short-term movement of gold and silver. So don't ask me about the price. It's very difficult to predict. Technical analysis, even technical chartists get it wrong most of the time. Yeah, but we don't have a magic crystal ball that can accurately predict. Especially gold and silver, the market is highly manipulated by central banks. Central banks themselves manipulate the price of gold and silver, so kind of difficult to predict. But what I can share with you is the analysis will be based on something more fundamental, right? Something, what's going to happen, how's the economic situation, how is the war situation that will drive up the price of gold and silver, all right? And also for this presentation, it's going to be quite heavy on chart. So I will do my best to explain it in layman's term. I will cut off all the jargon so that I can deliver it to you as simple as possible. So if you have questions later, note them down and ask me right at the end. Okay? All right. So I like to start off the chart. Don't worry. Don't squeeze your eye. I'm going to blow up. Okay? So these are the popular investment vehicle out there. It's a mix of commodities, forex, bond. So you see that gold and silver is in the green. So at the top there is green, and at the bottom there it's minus. All right. So I'm gonna take the positive one. All right. This chart is of yesterday. All right, this is the latest. Gold as of yesterday is doing 12.03% year to date. So we bought some gold in January. So today it has increased by 12.3% the price. Silver is not doing too bad at 7.17. Last month it was doing better. Gold was doing close to 20% and silver was at 12%, but the price gets slammed down. Alright, what else up here? You see metal generally is doing well. You have copper, even steel is not here. Platinum, it's all in the positive. Palladium is being consistent. From the beginning of the year until now, palladium has been at the top there. Do you know what palladium is used for? Anybody here wear white gold? Anybody got white gold? Alright, white gold is usually 18 karat gold. 18 karat is 75% purity gold, and the balance is made of palladium to give its white color. Sometimes they mix with a bit of rhodium or silver. So the white gold can be 18K or 9K or 14K, but the balance is made out of palladium. So that's what palladium is used for. So if you go to the jeweler, you will notice that prices of white gold has also gone up. Because gold has gone up, palladium also has gone up by a lot. Copper is up there. I have a friend who does aircon service. Late last year, he was making quite good money. And he asked me, he's a bit itchy lah, he wants to invest in all these instruments. So my advice him, I said, always invest back in your own business. All right, before you buy gold and silver, look at your own business. What are the things that you can put in that will grow your business even more? So he said one of the things is that copper prices have been going up, and sometimes it's difficult to get the copper tubing, for the aircon conduct. So I said, yeah, that's what you should do. You have a big warehouse space, buy more copper coil, and he did that, and he's very happy. He said that now he has a lot of copper. He even sell to other aircon service because sometimes there's not enough in the market. He makes money. The price has gone up by more than 20-25%, right? Rough rice is also up there. So if you notice, do you notice that the price of your rice has gone up? Not really. If you buy the normal white rice, it is subsidized by the government. But if you are like me, I eat brown rice. I notice that the price has gone up. But if you are more sophisticated, you only eat basmati rice has gone up. If you're in a restaurant business, you will definitely notice that the price of rice or Japanese rice has gone up. Yeah. So, okay, that's the top. So we look at the bottom here. Okay, US dollar has gone down. US dollar has an inverse relationship with precious metal. When US dollar goes down, precious metal price go up. So this year it's been down by negative about 9%. something interesting I want to point out, sugar has come down. Yeah, sugar, coffee, cocoa, even tea has come down in price. So you notice the price of your teh tarik at Mamak has come down? No. See, when price of sugar go up, they are so quick to increase the price. But when the price of sugar went down a lot, you know, more than a quarter, more than 25%, then quiet, nothing, all right. So yeah, the teh tarik, the kopi tarik price did not come down. Right. What else you notice has come down from here? Something that you use every day. Orange juice also didn't come down. Soya bean, you go to the taufu fa seller, did they decrease the price? No, price of taufu fa has gone up. Look at gasoline. Gasoline is your petrol. Crude oil has come down in price. Did you see the pump price come down? It come down 1 cent, 2 cent, but when it goes up 5 cent or 4 cent. Throw, alright? Okay. Alright. Okay. So that's the performance of the market. Another thing I want to show is the right at the bottom here, VIX. VIX is a volatility index. That means that certain bankers or some people who price their instrument, they price risk into their instrument. So when VIX is negative, meaning that they don't care about risk, which is a worrying trend, because right now the economy is so fragile. War is around the corner, but the volatility seems to be very low. And I'm also a historian. I look at patterns. So when at every big market crash, just before the market crash, the volatility index is always very low, meaning that, you know, people don't care. They are trading and buying and selling like as if nothing happened, and suddenly it comes crashing down. So this is actually a danger, that the VIX is right down there. Okay, something big may just happen. All right. So quick look at price of gold. Yeah, in ringgit Malaysia. So you're all in Malaysia, so I show the price in ringgit Malaysia. This is of yesterday. So spot price is about 175, 176. A year ago it was doing 168, right? 168 last year. Earlier this year was a bit low at 162. So it's been doing that lah. Right? Now look at the 10-year. This is more interesting. 10 years ago, price of gold was only 80, right? So it's more than double, right? And the price peaked at around end of 2011 at 180. So now we are revisiting that price in ringgit Malaysia, because at that time, 2011, ringgit was US dollar to ringgit was times 3. Now US dollar to ringgit is times 4.2. So the price of gold that you see at the goldsmith shop, it is the highest ever in Malaysian history. Alright, it is the highest ever in Malaysian history because ringgit weakens. Right. Okay, this is year to date in US dollar. Okay, the gold color is gold and the silver color is silver. Why I superimpose the silver and gold? Because if you see, when silver, you see, gold and silver, when it goes up together. When it comes down together. But one thing, what silver do is that it will swing a lot more than gold. It's more volatile than gold. So when gold goes up, silver will go up, but it will go up a lot more. When it comes down, when gold comes down, silver will also come down, but will come down by a lot more. Mainly because it's cheaper in price and it's lighter, so it moves a lot more. It's a lot more volatile. So in my analysis later, I will use a lot of silver in my mathematical analysis lah, I call it, because whatever happened to precious metal, it will show up in silver first. So silver will move first and then gold will follow. So I like to use silver in my analysis. Okay, don't worry about this. This is the 10-year chart of gold in US dollar. The red color is the price lah. Okay, and because it's so volatile, some people do a moving average. So this is the green one is a 200-day moving average. So instead of some trader like the Jeweler Association of Malaysia, they cannot be changing price every day. It's a headache. So they take an average moving average to price their jewelry, because when they do the buying and selling before they manufacture, they need to have some stability in price. So usually they don't use the daily price, they use an average price. Okay, so that from the moment they buy their raw material, they melt it down, they make into jewelry, it can take maybe 3 months to 6 months. So some of them use this moving average. But interestingly, the blue line is a 60-day moving average, the green is 200. You don't have to worry about this technical analysis. What it means is that we find that every time the blue line is on top of the green line, it's a bullish cycle. So everything, the market always happens in cycle. It goes up and down, up and down. So whenever the blue line is on top of the green line, it's very bullish. So you see the price tends to go up. And when the line cross the blue line under the green line, that's when it signals a bear market. Suddenly the cycle turns downwards. Alright, now we are here. The blue line just crossed the green line. So it signals that gold is about to enter a bull market. It's going to go a bull market run. So I show you this is a 10-year chart. I just show you the 1 year. So you see the blue line has left the green line. So we are looking at a very bullish scenario for gold in the coming months. Okay, this is silver. Again, I say every time the blue line is on top of the green line, it's very bullish. But when it's under the green line, it's very bearish. So but now it's consolidating. It's like a coiled spring. It's consolidating and it's about to go up, right? So I show a 1 year. Okay, all right, it's about to be released. It go up a couple of weeks ago, but it got slammed down, but it's trying to leave the green line. The blue line is trying to leave the green line. So we are looking at even silver is about to have a very bullish sentiment in the coming months. Okay, so again it's very difficult to predict the price of gold and silver based on technical analysis alone, because the market is highly manipulated even by central banks. There's a reason why central banks do not want you to have gold, because then you're going to dump the currency. They don't like that, and their currency will continue to drop. So they're trying to suppress the price of gold. They don't want people to move into gold. It's okay for you to move into bonds or the stock market, but not into gold. They don't like it, right? Okay, so I can't really look at the technical analysis, but what other indicator to show that where the price of gold is going to go? So I will give you some analysis lah. Okay, one of it, I look at the US being the biggest economy in the world right now. Okay, US is in ICU lah, basically. It's in a very bad shape. Right? It's having so much debt. Currently, it's over 20 trillion US dollar. All right, it started with the era of Reagan, Ronald Reagan, right here. Okay, when he came in, he added about 2 trillion of debt. All right, and then we have George Bush Senior. He came in again. He did some deficit spending. Hi, Winnie. And then George Bush Jr., not to be outdone by the father, he added even more. Okay, I'm going to say something interesting about George Bush Jr. Okay, during his time, he had a 10 trillion US dollar debt. Okay. George Bush Jr. was the 43rd president of the United States. Who was the first? George what? Washington. Okay, George Washington was the first president of the United States in 1789. So 1789 to 2009, that is 220 years. So it took the country, this US country as a country, 220 years to rack up $10 trillion of debt. Then came Mr. Obama. In just 8 years, he just doubled it up, just like that. 8 years, double, 220 years to rack up 10 trillion. Come champion. So look at his face, very funny. had another 20 trillion. Okay. Now Trump came in. I don't know. You know, some people say best case scenario, probably around 28 trillion US dollar. But I think it's gonna be double. It's gonna go 40 trillion because I will show you the trend later, right? So all this, another thing, you have your debt that much, but this is the income, US dollar, this is the revenue, tax revenue. So debt has gone up by 31 times since 1981, but the income has only gone up by 6 times. Okay, can you imagine if this is a person, if this is you, your monthly salary is only 3,500 ringgit, but you have a hutang, your debt is 28,000 ringgit, for example. Do you think you can ever pay back? If you don't eat, you don't go out, you take your salary, you don't do anything but just to pay off your debt, it's difficult because you still need to eat. See, if you live in Malaysia, say you have a 3,500 ringgit salary, you got to pay for your car, you got to pay for your rent, you have kids, you got to eat. It's not enough, 3,500 not enough. You have to take on more debt, and then this is going to go up, all right? The Along is not going to be happy with you, right? So this can never be repaid. The US can never repay their debt. It's beyond help. It's broken already. So I don't know what's going to happen. Right? Actually, I know what's going to happen. So I just to show you that this cannot go on forever. Right? There'll be one day where the Along will come to your house and splash the red paint. Similarly to US, there will come a time where they will ask for the pound of flesh. They say, look, you have not been paying. Okay. Okay. All right. This is the US debt. I plot it in log chart. Is it because the hutang of the US dollar is so great it goes exponential. When you see exponential graph, it's very difficult to analyze. So what I learned when I was, you know, you all learn at maths. Some of you learn at maths in school. When you have big data like this, you have to convert into log scale. So we have a log scale, 3, 6, 12, 24. So the graph looks a bit more linear. Okay, so this is every 4 years, every presidential years. So you see every 8 years, the US debt just double. That's why I said when Trump comes in, he's just going to double up in his 8-year term if he survives 8 years. All right, and this debt is compounded 8.6 per year. Right, so it's really beyond help. Okay. So the same pattern is happening worldwide, not just in the US. We have China, whose debt has gone from 1 trillion to 32 in the past 16 years. You see, like China, you think is a big economic superpower, but they also rack up a lot of debt because they have been going on a very aggressive expansion mode. You know, the recent one belt, one belt, right? So they do a lot of spending there. Okay. The Japanese government, that one I can talk lah, later lah, okay. Japan is in a much worse situation. All right, their government debt has reached 250% of the GDP. Right, they have a lot more debt than what the economy can generate. Okay, they are printing half of their government expenditure, meaning that every month when they want to pay their doctors, their police, their civil servant, half of that has to be printed. Can you imagine? They have to print money to pay their worker. That is how bad Japan is, and it's a bankrupt country. It's going to be in default soon, right? Okay. In Europe, it's no different. The European Commission Bank, the European Central Bank is printing 80 billion every month just to stay solvent. All right. So we all know all this money printing, it floods into the market. It will only cause inflation. I mean, it's a silent theft. Inflation is actually a way of government taxing you without you knowing. Right? I call it stealing by dilution. All right, for example, if I have a cup of coffee, all right, just pretend lah, don't drink just pretend this is Jack Daniels right? Okay, say this is my roommate's Jack Daniels, but but I want to steal some from him. See, I take some from him. But then again, it will come down in volume. So what do I do so that he don't find out? I add some water. So I dilute it. But when you dilute it, it doesn't give the same punch as before. So inflation is stealing by dilution. It steals from you by diluting your purchasing power, and something that you don't notice it. But over time, you will see that your currency doesn't give that bang anymore. All right. Okay. So some country in Europe, they even institute a negative interest rate, meaning that if you buy the government bond, right, usually when you buy bond, you get some coupon return, 4 to 5%, but you have to pay. Meaning in some banks in Europe, you put money, you're supposed to get interest, but instead of getting interest, you pay for the bank to keep your money. Or you buy the bond, you pay the government to buy that bond. Isn't that crazy? It's guaranteed when you buy that bond, you're going to lose money. So if you are a premier banking customer, or if you have investment in unit trust, check with your relationship manager, hey, my investment got any European government bond or not? Just make sure that, because this European government bond will give you negative interest rate. It's for sure you're going to lose money. So if it is, you ask them, can you switch to a different instrument? You say, I don't want any government bond. Okay, government bond is an investment that nobody should own, including Malaysia government bond. All right, because it's kind of worthless. All right. See, all these things, all over the world, not only in the US, they are printing currency. Credit expansion is another word, is a nicer word for money printing. So all this money printing has got no effect on productivity. This is a productivity growth. So for the past many years, it's like injecting a steroid on a dead horse. The horse is still down there, not moving, but you keep on pumping steroids, nothing happened. So the system is broken. Right? Okay. This is a bit complicated chart. Okay, let me explain. I used to be a chemical engineer. One of my job is to study the flow of fluid in a pipe, and we have to measure the flow or control using valve. And some of this fluid is not like water. It doesn't move linearly, meaning that if you open the valve this much, it goes out this much. Go that much. So some fluid is, we have another engineer here. Sometimes you just open a little bit, it gush out a lot. Or sometimes if we open a lot, it doesn't gush out as much. Sometimes we have a viscous liquid. So it makes it difficult for us to measure, because we need to put a meter and bill the client of the fluid. So when it's non-linear, the way we control or measure it, we have to look at the natural frequency. Alright, everything in nature happens in cycle. Right, housing market, there's a cycle. Property market, there's a cycle. Right, stock market, there's a cycle. Alright, planting durian, there's a cycle for it. Okay, including silver or gold, even war, there's a cycle. So when you can recognize the rhythm, you can plot the cycle top and bottom, then you can more or less predict the outcome, right? Much like when I was a chemical engineer, when we know the cycle of the fluid, and we know when to cut it off, so we can control it accurately. So this is a silver cycle. These black lines are cycles of prices of silver going up and down, and the numbers here are war cycle, major war that the US has been involved in. So when I superimpose these two cycles, I found a very strange correlation. Alright, you see at number one was World War I. That was the silver bottom. Okay, this line here means the price of silver hit a bottom, and then there's a war, the price of silver shoot up. And then we have number 2 here. There was a silver bottom, but there was no war, but the price still go up. So the correlation is not really 100%, but there's still some correlation here. So number 2, we have the World War II in 1939. So there was a war, and the price of silver go up. And number 3, we have the Vietnam War. Vietnam War was very, very costly. So they had all this movement and protests in the US. But it caused the price of silver to spike up. And then it went down again. And number 4, we had the Gulf War. Alright. Okay. Then number 5, we have the War on Terror, 2011, September 11. Yeah, that's the George Bush Jr.'s war. Now we are at this juncture. Price of silver right now is hovering around 17 US dollar. I think that is the bottom because it costs the miner 22 US dollar per ounce to mine silver. Alright, but it's selling at 17. So the miners are selling below their cost. So I don't think it can go any lower. So this is, to me, is the silver bottom already. And if I were to predict that a major war happened about every 26 years, the US is due for another major war. Alright, it's just my prediction lah. It could be North Korea. So they are trying to pick a fight. A couple of months ago, they tried to pick a fight with Ukraine or with Russia, but Russia, what bocap lah, don't care, right? Now they're trying to saber rattle with Korea. We don't know, but if you see the war happening, go buy silver, because price of silver is gonna shoot up. Based on this analysis, if there's a war happen, it probably is a good time to buy some silver, right? A bit far-fetched, but I like to study all this cycle. It kind of, amazingly, it's superimposed, and it happened that way. All right. War also consumes a lot of resources. It's financed by debt, and when it's financed by debt, it is very inflationary. All right. Even in war, they use a lot of silver. One Tomahawk missile, there's 500 ounces of silver in there, and it gets blown out into dust. That's a waste of silver, because silver is the best conductor on Earth. So all these sophisticated missile, they need all this guidance system. It needs to be very precise and very fast. So they use silver. Even your solar panel needs silver because silver will absorb in the electron so that it can pull in and generate electricity, right? So definitely, if there's a war happening, there's an increased demand in silver, and silver price is going to go up. Okay. Right. I'm just going to skip this. Another thing I do is I plot the price of silver to S&P 500 just to see, because I said everything happens in a cycle. You have a period of overvalued, undervalued, overvalued, undervalued. So right now we are at as compared to S&P 500, silver is very undervalued. See, it goes through cycle of overvalued, undervalued, overvalued, undervalued. So it's probably going to go up again, right, based on this cycle. Okay, it's another chart of silver. Bear with me. Okay, don't fall asleep yet. All right. What I do is I just draw a line on all the silver top and the silver bottom. All right. Well, we have a megaphone. It's called a megaphone pattern. As a technical analyst, when they look at this, they say that in the future, prices of silver is going to be even more volatile. So over here, not so volatile. As it goes up, it's going to go up and down a lot more. So if you're going to be invested in silver, you must have a strong heart, because it's going to be one hell of a roller coaster ride. When it goes up, it's going to go up really high. When it goes down, it's going to go really down. So don't call me Dean, the price of silver go down, what shall I do? I said, relax. You buy silver for the long term, right? Because that's the pattern. Okay, when it goes up, don't be so too happy, because sometimes it can go down by a lot more. But if you want to cash in, you can also do that. When it goes up, you just cash in, and then you buy back again when it come back down. Okay. Alright, this is something I'm expert in, the study of cycle. This is silver cycle. Silver has got a rhythm of 84 months. So every 84 months, it will hit a bottom. Alright, okay, here to here is 84 months. After it hit the bottom, it goes up, and then it hits a bottom, pop, it goes up again. And this was in December of 2015. We are here now. So don't worry, it is in the up cycle. Silver is in the up cycle. It will not hit the other bottom, not due until 2000. 2022, 2023. So if you bought some silver now, hold it on, all right? Maybe wait a couple more years and sell it, and then it's going to go down. The bottom should be about 2022. That's a long way to go, all right? You understand this chart? All right, this is what I do as a chemical engineer. I look at patterns, I look at rhythm. So it always happens. Touch the bottom, it goes up. Okay. So we have major markets turning. I'm going to share with you some charts on bonds. Okay, bonds have been rising for the past 35 years, but it's looked tired, you know. It's been going up 35 years and it looks very tired. And US dollar also has been rising for the past 14 years. And I made a call. I said January 3 of this year, US dollar has reached its peak and is on the way down, which is true. So I will show you the chart later. Right? And also stocks have been rising and rising and rising. The correction hasn't come yet. Okay, it's due for correction. Okay, this is the bond market, all right? So bond market has got a 91 months rhythm. It's got a 91 months cycle. So every time it touch here to here in 91 months, touch the top, it goes down. It touch after 91 months, it comes down. So this was in 2016. It has touched the top and it's still on the way down right now. So that's why I say bond is not a very good investment to be invested in. Not only that prices are going down, but they are also giving you negative rates right now. Okay, so this is the US dollar. Right, again, US dollar has got a 92 month cycle, about 7.7 years. So every time it touched the top, it just come crashing down. Touch the top, it went down. So this was January this year, all right? And right now, it's somewhere down here, okay? There. Top there was January, and we are down here. And the next resistance line is about 80. So it's still got a long way down. So if you are in the import-export business, you can use this data to your advantage lah. Right? Why is it good to import, right? Right? Good to import goods from the US because it's going to be cheaper. Right? Also, momentum of the US dollar is slow. All right? So it's below zero right now. So the US dollar looks very tired. Right? It's very tired right now. So that's why I say it's probably going to go down all the way to 80. This is the US dollar index. Yeah? So that is good for gold and silver, because I said again, it's got inverse relationship with gold and silver. When US dollar weaken, price of gold and silver will go up. Okay. This is the US stock market, S&P 500. Okay, again, there's a pattern. All right, every time it hits the top, it's going to come crashing down by a lot. Okay, so now this was 2015, close to 2015, but it hasn't come crashing down yet. In fact, it's been making new high. All right, I predicted that it's going to come crashing down last year, but I was wrong because I forgot that it was an election year. It's Trump, you know. They never let the stock market crash during presidential election year, so it didn't come crashing down last year. So it's due for correction anytime now. It looks precarious, but I think when the correction happens, it's going to be a very steep way down. Right? So that's the US stock market. Okay, it's really overheated and overdue. So stay away from the market unless you are shorting it or you are looking for bargain. If you're looking for some bargain deal, wait for the billionaires are doing that way. When it crashes, that's when you take out your bullet lah. So you must have some silver bullet and gold bullet lah at that time to buy up all this undervalued property. Right? Don't be like the rest. Everybody, buying property, you all buy property when the price is high, and then when the price drop, that's when you sell. And you are losing money. Do the opposite. Okay. My chart will not be complete without gold lah. So this is gold. Gold has got 89 month cycle. It's a bit slightly different from silver. Okay. So every time it hits 89 months, the bottom it goes up. It hits 89 months later, bottom, it goes up. So this was December 2015, so it hits a bottom. So it's on the way up. So congratulations to my client who have bought gold from me for the past 1 or 2 years. I'm sure your gold has gone up. True or not? Right? If you bought it in December last year, you bought it, say 100 gram, you bought at 15,000, 16,000, it's close to 18 now, right? It's close to 18,000. So don't sell it yet, all right? You only sell it when you need it, you know, like your kids go for education, then you come look for me lah, Din. My kids need to go to university, need to sell some, right? Okay, again, boring chart on gold. It's just to show that it's consolidating right now. Gold is in coiled spring position. It's ready to jump up. So this is the flow of money for the past. Flow of money, yeah, breaking up. Flow of money going into gold. So it's been investors have been putting money into gold recently. So I know that in the coming months, this will continue. So you will see prices of gold and silver is going to go up. Okay. All right. So this is a China factor. All right. China has been buying a lot of gold recently, mainly because of the trade deficit. Yeah, what it means that China export into the US. The US also export their goods and services into China, correct? They are trading partners. They are one of the biggest trading partners, even though they're not ngam, but they have to trade with each other. But who export more? US export more into China or China export more to the US? Okay, so China export more to the US. So there's a trade deficit, there's an imbalance. How do US settle the imbalance? Anybody know? How they settle it? See if I have something here. US don't settle it. What they do, they just write a piece of paper, IOU. Alright? It's in the form of treasury bills. They just give China, never mind, if you're a normal trader, you get paid in US dollar. But central bank to central bank, they have to settle among themselves. Right, you get paid when you export to China or US, right? But among country, the US said, never mind lah, I give you IOU first, we settle later. So over the years, this IOU has grown. This pile of paper has grown to trillions of dollars. So the Chinese got a bit fed up, you know. So what they do, they've been buying a lot of gold from the Western world. China is the biggest producer of gold. They have a lot of gold mine. They are the biggest producer. But none of their gold ever leave China. On top of that, they import a lot of gold into China. Alright? So how they do that? They just unwind all the IOUs, they throw back to the US, and the US very stupid, they go and throw back gold into China. So who's the clever one? One throw paper, the other one throw gold, right? Clever. So that's how China trying to unwind the trade imbalances. Okay. You with me so far? Okay. Yeah.
Say who produced the most gold, China or US?
Okay. China is the biggest producer of gold in the world. They have a big mine. So much so that every 1 kilogram of gold, let me take out a 1 kilogram. No, I don't have 1 kilogram of gold.
1 kilogram.
Silver only.
1 kilogram of gold.
I give you some illustration. Imagine this is 1 kilobar of silver. Imagine if this is gold. Alright. Every 1 kilogram of gold that comes out of the earth, 40% will go to China. The other 60% goes to India, Russia, and all the other countries. European, you don't see a European wearing a lot of gold, right? It's the Chinese, the Indians, and the Malay that wears gold. All right. So much so that they love gold. All right. So this is a chart of country that buys a lot of gold. You have, hang on, yeah. Where's my legend is at that side. Green color is India. Naturally, yeah, Indian love gold. Surprisingly, Turkey love gold a lot more than the Indians. All right, and Russia has also been buying. Russia is the blue line. Russia has been stockpiling gold. Yeah, they are preparing. Okay, and China, of course, is at the top. For over the years, they've been buying and buying and buying in preparation for something big. All right. Have you heard of the golden rule? Okay. The golden rule says who has the gold makes the rule. Okay. All right. So who has the most gold in the world right now? China. So China is preparing to be the guy that makes all the rule. Okay. They are also preparing to remonetize gold into yuan. So they want to have a gold-backed yuan. Yeah. So when that happens, you will see a spectacular, not price, but the value of your gold for a short while will suddenly jump up. Alright. If 1 ounce of gold can buy you 1 cow, suddenly in that short period of time can buy you 2 or 3 cow. Right. We don't talk about price because price and value are two different things. Yeah. Okay. Alright. This is something that I want to share with you. This is something big. It may or may not happen, but China made a surprising announcement a couple of weeks back. They said that the gold market is already a lot of pressure. There's not enough gold to go around to satisfy the world demand. All right, and China announced that to all their oil exporter, but that beginning next year when you sell oil to us, we'll pay you in yuan, no longer in US dollar. The petrodollar is dead. All right. But as an incentive, because yuan is not a world reserve currency, people still have people still scared of things made in China, including the yuan. All right. So the yuan is not well established yet. So as an incentive, they say, okay, look, we give you yuan. If you don't want the yuan, you can convert the yuan to gold. Right. And that gold does not come from China's own reserve. I give you yuan. Or I can unwind my IOU. I get from Western Vault. I give you the gold. Right. Now, so how much gold are we talking about? If China is the biggest oil consumer in the world, right? They're big in everything, all right. Okay. China's import in 2017 averaged around 8.5 million barrels per day. 8.5 million barrels. And this is already 14% more than last year. Okay, so they are the largest, no doubt about that. Okay, now I'm going to do some mathematics here. Okay, their 1 year forecast. This is a 1 year forecast. So I'm going to forecast about $60 per barrel. Okay, that equates to 540 million per day. So China pay 540 million per day to get oil. Okay, now let's assume price of gold at 1,300. That means every day there's 415,000 of ounces of gold going into China. All right, that's a whopping how many million? So this is 1 ounce of gold. 1 ounce of gold. Can you imagine 415 of this goes into China? China is going to pay their oil exporter this much gold, and that is 151 million of this per year. Okay, is there enough gold or not? Let's see. Okay, but of course, not all of that will be converted lah. Yeah, but you consider that a lot of the country that export oil to China, they are not friendly with the US, like the Iran and the all the Middle East. They're not buddy with the US. So some of them may not also want the US. Russia export a lot of oil to China, and Russia are not friendly with the US. So they say, I don't want any US dollar. China, please give me some gold. Alright. So this is what happened. This is the annual gold supply. This is the amount of gold being mined every year. 120 million ounces, thereabout. And this number is dropping because more and more reserves are depleting. Gold is a finite element. It's going to deplete. Right. So this, if all the exporter ask for gold, 100%, there's not enough gold at that price, 1,300. Okay. So this is the different conversion rate, 10%, if it's 25% or 50%. But if even 75% is almost not enough. Okay. Actually, the question is, it's not about whether enough gold or not. It's whether the price is right or not. Meaning that the price of gold has to go up in order to do this. Alright. So this is something big that's going to happen in the market. Right. Let's see what's the next slide. Okay. So this itself is an act of war by China. Can you imagine last time when Saddam Hussein said, we will only sell oil for euro? So what happened to Saddam Hussein? He was murdered, and the country is in a mess right now, even until today. So when China announced this, it is also an act of war. All right. The US not going to be happy. They may sabotage this. Right, I have to stand here so that they can bring the food. US may sabotage this effort to sell oil for gold. All right. But then again, even if in an act of war, if US go to war, they want to stop China from doing this by doing a proxy war with Korea, it's still good for gold, what? Right? Every time there's a war, price of gold and silver go up. All right. If it didn't happen, price of gold going to go up. But if this happened, price of gold and silver is also going to go up. Right. I don't know whether this is going to happen. They announce it. It may happen, it may not. But be prepared lah, just in case it happen. Okay. Okay. Towards the end of the presentation. Okay. Why gold and why silver? Why you should consider some gold and silver? To me, gold and silver is not an investment. I go around telling people it is not an investment. My definition of investment, what you put in, you get more in return. Education is an investment. If you're a farmer, you buy machinery, that's an investment. Right? But when you buy gold, does it give you dividend? The one that give you, the one you avoid. That one give you 2.5% every month. Don't go there. Some of us have experience in that. Gold doesn't grow in size. So it does nothing. It does nothing. Okay? That's why I don't call it an investment, but it's a preserver of your hard work. What is real is your labor. You buy goods and services, you buy things not with money, but you buy with hours of your labor. You get what I mean? The hours of amount of work that you buy, that you convert that into buying goods and services. All right. Currency will devalue. Yeah, the value of ringgit will drop. But if you preserve your hard work into gold and silver, it stays there. It is not investment, but it will hold value over thousands of years. So I just give you an example, right? This is a written history where 5,000 years ago, you can buy one cow with 1 ounce of gold. You can look it up. Right? During the time of Jesus, it is also written that you can buy 1 troy ounce of gold. Okay, you can buy a cow with 1 troy ounce of gold. All right. In Malaysia, in 1970s, the price of cow was about 200 ringgit. One whole cow, 200 ringgit, very cheap. Okay, how much was the price of this? It's about 200 ringgit. Okay, today, all right, the price of this 1 ounce of gold is about 6,000 ringgit. I will ask Mr. Encik Nazar, because he's in the cattle farming business. Berapa harga seekor lembu? Say a good breed you import from Australia, for example, 6,000 ringgit. So this can still convert into 1 cow. So buying gold does not make you rich. It doesn't. Suddenly you can buy, you think that, oh, price of gold go up, you happy, oh, price of gold. Actually, you should not be happy, because when the price of gold go up, it also means that your ringgit is falling in value. But the direct barter of gold remains the same for the past 5,000 years. It can still buy you 1 cow. And 10 years from now, it can still buy you 1 cow. But if you kept 200 ringgit in 1970, and you take it out today, you think you can buy 1 cow now, that 200 ringgit? Cannot. Right. So gold is not an investment. It's just preserve. You put it away for future use. Okay, clear? All right. And we look at countries like Venezuela, where there's a chaos and all that. They always revert back to gold and silver as money, as a barter currency. That's what's happening right now. Even in India, when the government demonetized the 2 largest currency, you have to bring loads of cash to do some simple transaction. People don't like it. So in the underground market, they were using gold. So I have a lot of Indian customers. They came all the way from India. They buy gold. They smuggle it back into the country. And it's being used as the underground currency. Even in Malaysia, some smart businessmen are not using ringgit. They are bypassing the bank. They are trading using gold. All right. And imagine in in Venezuela a couple of years back when there was a chaos. Nobody wants to export food into the country. All the shopkeeper, they don't want any of the bolivar. They are standing by in front of the shop with the rifle, you know. They will only let in if you do this. You knock on the door. They ask you to go away. They go away. If you bring a wheelbarrow of bolivar, they will shoo you away or they will point a gun at you. But if you knock on the door, you talk. You think what will happen? Because the shopkeeper also need this, because they will have to use this to pay their supplier. Alright. So I don't know about Malaysia. We seems to be travelling the same path of Venezuela. Alright. The same level of corruption. Past presidents have been stealing money, outright stealing money from the public coffer. Is that happening in this country? Yeah. Just we are among friends. Alright. Okay. They take money just like that. You know. The way Goldman Sachs come and, you know, structure this and that. It's the same in Malaysia also. It's the same. So we are traveling exactly the same path as Venezuela. I'm not asking for it. I'm not asking for this to happen, but you have to be prepared. All right, because in times of chaos, your ringgit may not be useful. All right. Put some, you know, put in business, put it back in your own business or the things that you're familiar with, but have some emergency stash in ringgit and also in gold and silver, right? Okay. All right. So I think I'm right at the end of my presentation. Okay. So we're gonna take a break for Thai tea. And yeah, and then you can ask me Q&A session. Yeah, all right. So thank you very much. All right. And can we have the ladies to start first to get some food? The ladies first. Continue with if you're working or business, continue with that because you know your business very well, right? The ringgit that you have, okay, find an investment instrument that can give you more return, all right? Something that you're familiar with, right? Don't put into something that you have no knowledge of. If you have knowledge in Bitcoin, you can put in Bitcoin, but if you don't have knowledge in Bitcoin, don't put in Bitcoin, for example. Right? What do you do with your ringgit? If you keep your ringgit in the fixed deposit, it may go down in value. Alright. So what you can do, you can keep some in gold and silver. Alright. But you must always have some ringgit in case of I call it emergency. You must always have your 6 month daily expenses. Your monthly expenses you times by 6, you must have that in ringgit. Because sometimes we cannot predict how healthy we're gonna be. We cannot predict the car accident and all that. So you must have that. Surplus, then you put in gold and silver. If you don't have anything else in mind, first priority, always put it back in your own business. Second, look for other investment that you have have a lot of knowledge that can generate income. All right. Some you keep in ringgit, but not put in FD. This is in the savings account that you can actually quickly use in case of emergency. And the rest, if you really have got no idea, just put in gold and silver, right? Because the time when suddenly ringgit has got no value, at least you have some gold and silver to help you out, right? Okay. Okay. All right. Any other question while I'm here? Good. Sorry,
Okay, I have a...
They're listening even though they're eating. Yeah.
I have a practical kind of question. You know, some of us, we buy gold, little wafers and all, but are we allowed to take it out of the country?
Okay.
That's a bit tricky. Does it count as currency when you take physical gold out that is not in the form of jewelry?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. A very valid question. When you buy gold bar, gold wafers, I think I'm going to turn this off. Hang on, yeah. Okay, all right. Okay. So when you buy gold and silver, can you take it out of the country, or can gold and silver go inside Malaysia? Gold is not drug, so it's not a contraband item. It's not an illegal item. For Malaysia, if you transport gold out of the country, if it's within ASEAN country, it's okay. There's no tax. You can take gold into Singapore. If you declare it as your own personal wealth, your own thing, they will usually ask for an invoice. Okay, so when you buy from me, make sure that you get an invoice. If you have lost that invoice, ask me to create another invoice. If you don't buy from me, I can create a dummy invoice for you also. We are friend, no problem. Okay, so gold going out of the country, if that country has got no tax on gold, you have no problem, it's okay. Certain countries require approved permit, like Malaysia. If you bring gold, you need an approved permit, otherwise you get import duty tax. But if you say it's your own personal use, you show your invoice, they don't tax you. Alright, but currency above 10,000 ringgit, you have to declare. Gold, you don't have to, because I have some friends, you know, they take gold, they go to Australia, they give the kids, put in the pocket, and the children, was it you? Your wife took gold to Australia. No problem. And then wife sell the gold there.
No question asked.
No question asked. And go shopping. Go shopping after that.
They break the gold.
They break the gold.
And then I think they probably reprocess it.
But they give cash on the spot, so not a problem.
So when you take it, I mean, you obviously you hand carry it out.
Yeah, hand carry.
I think going into Australia is not the problem, but leaving Malaysia, do they stop you?
No, leaving Malaysia, no problem.
Afraid of Malaysia, then. Australia, as long as you declare, they're always okay.
When you, yeah, you don't have.
Oh, you don't have to declare.
You don't have to declare. When you come into Malaysia, sometimes you can walk through green lane, but in Malaysia now, you do not like to walk through green lane. Yeah, they have to scan. All right. Going into Malaysia, they will scan. They see gold, they will ask for invoice. But going out, not a problem. Going out, they scan, but as long as it's not bomb,
So they see a piece of metal, they won't ask you.
they actually know it's gold. The color will show as gold. They will ask you, what is that? You just say gold. They may or may, usually they don't ask for the invoice, but if they do, you just show this my invoice, you can travel. Certain country like Japan, you have to pay the tax for gold bar. India also. So be prepared when you enter. If some of my Indian customers, they know how to smuggle lah. I don't know where they put, you know, they put in places where the sun don't shine and all that. So
Where the X-ray cannot.
where the X-ray cannot. But you have to pay the tax. Alright, quite high. There's a recent news where a Malaysian smuggled 100 kilogram of gold into Japan. It's like a big hoo-ha. You think it's illegal? Actually, no. What the person did was just to pay the fine, pay the tax. He carry his gold back into Japan. Not a problem. So it's not. Another thing that if you don't want to get tax buying gold, alright, you buy jewelry.
Yeah, where
Okay. Alright.
rappers.
Yeah, become like, you know, Elizabeth Taylor sort of thing. Even when you go into India, okay, gold bar got tax. If you wear the gold, no tax. So some of the, I also have a client from India. He actually buy used jewelry, you wear it and travel into, no tax. Okay, you can also do that. So far, a lot of country, I think almost 99%, I think almost 100% of the country in the world, if you travel in wearing gold jewelry, absolutely no tax. So that's another strategy. If you need to smuggle gold into a certain country, make it into a jewelry that you can wear, right? Okay, don't make it obvious lah, like big 1 kilogram gold bar chain and go in, and then no lah. You know, fashion it in a way that it looks like a jewelry. Okay, all right. Any other question while you're eating? It's a very good question. Thank you.
Somebody carrying the gold on your behalf.
Not encouraged for you to carry gold on your behalf. At least create a dummy invoice. All right. Okay. Like I said lah, if I've already issued the gold under your name, but you want your son to go overseas, but the invoice under your name. You said, Dean, can you do me a favor? Can you create a dummy invoice for my son to bring? I will do that lah for my client. You know, just dummy invoice. Yeah.
You should also explain your gold card.
The gold card. Oh no, that one not happening lah. That one no investor.
No, not that one. The card that you issue, you can actually buy things. So
Yes, I know.
the Canadian one.
The Canadian one. Yeah.
But there's some not so positive comment.
No lah, it's okay. Yeah. People are still.
Your experience is quite okay.
Yeah. I think mostly because they are still afraid of all these cashless, you know. So they're not used to it lah. It's a matter of getting used to it lah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Bitcoin is all this.
Okay.
Cryptocurrency.
Okay. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is a subject that I always get lah. My advice is, you know, it's a form that you can make money. You know, I have friends who actually you can make money with cryptocurrency. You must just time yourself when to exit. All right. Okay, just like stock market, Bitcoin is like stock market or forex. You must have a entry strategy and exit strategy. So everything I said happen in a cycle. Bitcoin also got a cycle. You have to exit before it come crashing down, because it will come crashing down. I don't know when. Already has.
Now going up again.
There'll be another crash.
It's heavily manipulated.
Yeah.
And because it's smaller, it's even more easily manipulated.
Exactly. Alright. So that one, buyers beware. I don't want to comment a lot more about cryptocurrency. But going forward, I think all the country in the world will adopt this blockchain currency. It is in their agenda. Like IMF has created their own cryptocurrency. Their main goal is to get everybody in the world to be on this cryptocurrency. So I foresee in the future they will crash the Bitcoin and Ethereum and migrate people into this SDR, the special drawing rights issued by IMF, because this is also has been prophesied in a lot of holy books. The Christian and the Muslim already prophesied that at the end of time, everybody will be using the same currency, digital currency. You know, the Christians say the mark of the beast and all that. You know, so I foresee that this is the direction of a cryptocurrency. But there's also a danger of using digital currency, because look at recently Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico had a Hurricane Maria. 90% of the country is without electricity and telecommunication line. So if you are a cashless society, or you're using cryptocurrency, you cannot transact. You cannot transact because there's that single point of failure. If Malaysia want to really push for cashless society, you all have to fight back, because you see, in times of crisis, suddenly TNB blackout. How am I going to pay using my card? Right.
But China is pretty cashless already, right? I hear that
Exactly.
beggars, you want to donate to a beggar, you use the Alipay.
The Alipay, yeah, that's right.
Donate money to the beggar on the street. So
But they also have problems. Sometimes there's a blackout in certain shopping mall. They cannot do anything, you know.
no one can buy.
No one can buy or sell anything. So it's still good to pressure the government to still have cash. All right. If you're a businessman, you really need to transact in cash for. Yeah.
Really, talking about electronic warfare, is there a future for electronic transactions?
Yeah, because electronic warfare can also knock down everything.
Even satellites?
That's right. So that's why I said for you all, don't rely too much on cryptocurrency or cashless society, because the electronic warfare is also real. The technology is there.
Don't rely on the banks.
I don't rely on the banks. You're right.
So best is to invest more on gold rather than cryptocurrencies, yeah?
Have some. You can have some in cryptocurrency. You can have some in your bank. Spread your risk around. All right. Because I'm not here to ask you to buy gold. I'm here to tell you about risk. Okay, and to spread. Because I want my client. In the future, I still want to see you. You are all my friend. Okay, I want you all to do well. I don't want some of you to get jammed or stuck. If you too invested in certain thing and the thing collapse, and then you are stuck. So I don't want that to happen to my client. So my advice is to diversify your risk. Right. Sure. Can. It's
That's the 1
the 1 kilo, 1 silver. Gold is half of the size. It's this size, width, and but the thickness is half because gold is more dense. So this is silver.
1 kilo silver.
1 kilo silver. This is 100 gram of gold. 50 gram. Very bulky.
So this is 50, yeah. Okay.
So we have the 5 grams special thing lah, for Mother's Day or Valentine's Day. This is 10 gram.
10 grams.
And this is 5 gram
Okay.
rose. And this is an old coin lah. This is 1980 something, 1989.